Hey everybody, what's up? This one's gonna be my, get my chair situated. This one's gonna be my, State of TNA, video. I really kind of want to go over TNA, where they are, hopefully where they're going, or they're not going, and basically overall, the first thing I have to say is probably the most important. The focus needs to be on the young guys. It's been said and debated and argued and whatever, but the focus of the product needs to be on the guys who are up and coming, the future of the business. Just Mojo, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels. I know Jay Lethal's gone now, which is probably the biggest waste of potential since WWE released Charlie Haas in like 05, 06. Maybe late 06 or 07. I don't remember, but, just a big waste of potential, which really that sums up TNA all the way right now to me. Just wasted potential. You have, it's like the whole focus of the show is Hogan and Sting and Flair, and it's, while those guys are legends, don't get me wrong, the focus of the show needs to be on the young guys. Having the legends there, the Hulk Hogan's, the Ric Flairs, whatever, having them there is fine. I mean, Paul Heyman said in an interview that if he started booking TNA, the first thing he would do is, anybody over the age of 35, you're out the door. Or I think 35. I think 35 was the age he gave, but basically that was it. Anybody who's old, you're out. Which, that's a bit extreme, no pun intended. But, I mean, having them there is okay to me. I wish they would use them a little better or not make them so much the focal point of everything. I mean, to me, what makes the most sense for TNA to do right now, what I would love to see TNA do, is for them to open a school. Because, I mean, you open a school in, Florida, Orlando, wherever, you're the number 2 wrestling company on the planet. The power plant, WCW's power plant, was huge. So many stars came out of there. So many. And TNA could really sort of do the same type thing. I mean, can you imagine a school where Raven is the head trainer and Mick Foley, Ric Flair, and Hulk Hogan stop by once a month to talk to the kids? I mean, can you imagine the talent that would come out of that school? It would be insane. I don't have a problem with the old guys being under contract, especially, since if you really do want to offer a parallel to WWE, what they're not offering, having guys who were, I guess, made stars there or were brought up there come on your show and kind of either talk about it or not talk about it and just kind of show, this is the best company. But there has to be a product behind that to really enforce it, or else it's just words, which is all it really is when I hear those guys say stuff like that. Because I don't think that anybody there, I don't think Kevin Nash really believes that that's the best wrestling product on the market right now. I think it's a place for those guys to get some money, and they're out the door. I think there are guys who care about it somewhat, but not so much as they're just there to get money. Having the veterans there is good if they're teaching the younger generation and putting them over. In Ring of Honor in 2005, when all of the stuff with Lita and Edge was going on, Matt Hardy got released from WWE, and he did 2 shows, I think it was just 2, a Friday and a Saturday night, in the Midwest for Ring of Honor. And even though Hardy was a guy who had been around for 10 years at the time, 15 years at the time, whatever, it didn't take away from the product having a older guy there, whereas everybody else in the locker room was just starting out. I mean, that was Punk's last night, was the night I was there that night that he wrestled, I think it was Roddy. It didn't take away anything from it. Where, and then it was about, the next year, Lance Storm wrestled Bryan Danielson, and even though Storm was a guy to the best of my knowledge, that's been his last match. You know, where it's like he's really at the tail end of his career, and it didn't take away from it the way, you know, when I see Ric Flair every Thursday night, he's the only guy that I'm seeing, him and Hogan and Sting, and, you know, they brought Hardy and Storm in, and they put over the young guys. You know, maybe not lost. I think Hardy, maybe he did lose both his matches. I don't remember. I have a terrible memory. But after the match, you felt like, you know, the Bryan Danielson or, you know, Roddy or Christopher Daniels, they looked better. You know, Storm got on the mic and said, you know, this is the best wrestling promotion around. Whatever, put over the company, put over Bryan Danielson. And, you know, having the old guys there doesn't necessarily take away from everything as long as they're not all I'm seeing. The focal point of the show needs to be on the young guys, and that's not what I'm seeing anymore. For a while, I felt like that was really... That's why I loved it so much. In 2005, when TNA was just getting started, before they were on Spike, I think they had just lost the... whatever they were on, Comcast Sportsnet or FSN, whatever they were on before, where they had the hour show on like Friday afternoon, they had Impact Online, where, you know, you would just go on TNAWrestling.com, or I think that was the site they've always used, and you would just watch Impact on there, and they had the pay-per-views as well once a month. And, you know, I felt like for a long time there, the focus was really on the young guys, while there was the older guys, Christian Cage, who, you know, is not Kevin Nash old or Hulk Hogan old, but is past his, maybe not past his prime, but certainly not as young as AJ Styles. You know, and other old guys who were there at the time, but were really there putting over the younger talent. And that's really, it's really gone away from that. And I if they really want to compete with WWE, they need to start using the stars that they have and building them, especially since the stars I see WWE building don't look like they're going to turn out to be, you know, big stars. You know, I don't see Justin Gabriel leading the company in 6 years. You know, I don't see him main eventing WrestleManias. But I certainly see Samoa Joe or AJ Styles as somebody who can be a leader in the industry and be the face of the industry in 5 years. You know, one thing that really kind of turned me off from TNA, and one of the really reasons that I don't watch a lot anymore, was the mismanagement of Samoa Joe, who I loved in Ring of Honor, loved everywhere he went, followed him, followed his career, was so excited when he got to TNA. He had, you know, whatever it was, about a year of the undefeated streak, and a lot of people say they were mad that he lost to Angle. I didn't mind him losing to Angle because, you know, that makes a lot of sense storyline-wise, that, you know, Angle comes in and he's, you know, really a top guy in the industry, and, you know, it makes sense that he would be the guy that would beat Samoa Joe. That's fine with me. You know, I certainly didn't want to just see him lose to Kevin Nash one night, you know, a la Goldberg. You know, I didn't mind him losing to Angle. I felt like maybe that first match they did could have been like a double count out or something, or, you know, kind of build towards that second match. Not just really have, you know, Joe go out there and lose the first match, but whatever. Really the mismanagement after that, where it was like, I was so excited to see this guy become champion, and by the time he did, I really didn't care anymore. You know, by that time, all the hype he had around him and all the momentum he had going into title matches was really gone. I mean, TNA came to Chicago, which is where I'm from, and I didn't even bother going. Despite the fact that Joe was on the card, despite the fact that, you know, a bunch of guys who I love were on the card, it wasn't even really worth going. And, you know, that's really the problem with TNA. And that's all I'll say about that. Ring of Honor is coming up. Where they are right now, where they're going, where they've been. Some of the things I have to say might surprise you. Check it out. It's coming. Thanks for watching.